Greetings from Disability Rights Idaho and the Idaho Secretary of State. I'm here today to talk to you about polling place accessibility. Voters with disabilities are just as politically active as any other demographic. Unfortunately, not all polling places were built with accessibility in mind, and can discourage people with disabilities from voting. If a voter with a disability encounters a barrier, they are less likely to vote in person in future elections. As a poll worker, it is your duty to provide voters with an accessible venue to exercise their right to vote. So, let's see what you can do to ensure that your polling location is accessible to all voters. We'll look at this in 3 sections: outside, entrances, and interior. Let's start our accessibility check on the outside of the building. Parking lots should have 1 accessible spot for every 25 regular spaces. There should be a minimum of 1 van space, and 2 accessible spaces can share 1 van aisle. Accessible spaces must be clearly marked, and if there's no sign present, cones can temporarily mark a spot as accessible. The path from parking to the polling location should be relatively level. Remember, if a defect is more than 1/4 inch high, consider marking an alternate route or covering the gap. All ramps must be 36 inches wide and can have no more than a 1 in 12 slope. The ramp should also rise no more than 30 inches between landings. While you're outside, don't forget to factor all these items into your curbside voting plan, if you'll be offering it. Now, let's move along to the entrances. If there are stairs at the main entrance, there must be an alternate, accessible entrance available, with signs leading from the main entrance to the accessible one. Entrances should have 18 inches of clear wall space on the poll side of the door next to the handle. This allows an individual with crutches or a wheelchair to access the door. Entryways must be 32 inches wide, unless the doorway is 24 inches or more in depth. Then the width must be 36 inches. Handles must sit at 48 inches from the ground and be operable with a single closed fist. Doorknobs and heavy doors are difficult to open. Consider propping the door open, or have it manned by a greeter that will open the door for all visitors. With entrances covered, let's look at the interior of the polling location. First and foremost, to be prepared for every voter, you must ensure that you've set up an ADA accessible voting machine prior to the opening of the polls. And just like a regular voting booth, you'll need to find a position that ensures a voter's privacy. Inside, keep all paths of travel at least 36 inches wide. Any furniture should be easily movable so that pathways can be cleared. All carpet should be short and flat, and thresholds must be 1/4 inch if unbeveled, or 1/2 inch if beveled. Like thresholds, any rugs should be secured and no more than 1/2 inch high. Overhead, any hanging objects should be marked on the floor with a cone. So should any object protruding more than 4 inches from a wall. This makes them cane detectable. All signage should be hung 48 to 60 inches from the ground. And finally, if voting isn't on the first floor, there must be a working elevator. So there you have it, a quick guide to accessible polling places, brought to you courtesy of your friends at the Idaho Secretary of State and Disability Rights Idaho. For more information, visit any of the sites on your screen. And thank you for helping make sure every eligible Idaho voter has access to the polls.